This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show.
All right. There he is, the man from Sports Illustrated, Alain Poupart, ready to rock and roll. No Expos hat?
No, it's in timeout. It was behaving badly, so I put it in timeout.
All right. Well, just want you to know, I got my tickets yesterday, August 11th and the 13th. I am going to Olympic Stadium.
Nice.
To see Metallica. Are you a Metallica guy at all?
Not really.
Okay, so they're doing something special. Like you buy tickets, you're buying them for 2 shows.
Okay.
Oh, and they're doing 2 completely different sets.
Nice.
Yeah, it's actually
pretty strong.
Yeah, it is strong. Mammoth, which is Halen's son, and Pantera, the version of Pantera that's now, are opening up for that one. I also got tickets for Mexico City and Metallica, but this is like in September of 2024, dude.
Jesus. Man.
Yeah, Greta Van Fleet and Mammoth are opening up for those dates. But
nice.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So what do I do in Montreal, bro? I mean, when we get closer, I'll hit you up for some. But what's a must that I have to do in Montreal? Which is, by the way, it's very cool that I'm going to see a concert in Olympic Stadium because obviously that's a hidden treasure of the North Americas when we talk about sports stadiums.
It is.
Yeah, it's got its history.
It's a dump, though.
There aren't a lot of stadiums that have history like that one now left. We tore them all down, bro.
No, it's there actually. I went to see some events at the I'm going to date myself here. The 1976 Olympics were in Montreal. I saw soccer at Olympic Stadium, and I wound up going to 6 different events.
Nice.
That was the one I saw at the Olympic Stadium.
Okay. All right. I'm sure nowadays it's considered a dump, right? Because it's so old. It's probably outdated as hell. But hey, man,
it was a dump. It was a dump from the beginning. To be very honest with you.
Yeah. It's one of those old.
Really weird.
Yeah, exactly. What are you going to do? But it's one of those rich histories. So, what's one thing I have to do in Montreal?
Old Montreal.
What?
You have Old Montreal.
Okay, I got to go to old Montreal.
Go to Old Montreal. That's a must.
Okay. All right. We'll be there for a couple of days, so we'll get to enjoy a little old Montreal. All right. We'll get some food in there too. Get some Canadian culture in there, not beer. I know that's just part of your culture too. You guys are all, but what you too? You're a big alcoholic too, man. Is that what it is?
Whenever I drink, which is very occasionally, it's wine. I'm not a beer person. You have to have a poutine. You have to have a poutine.
Molsons, huh?
I'm sorry.
No Molsons.
Never could stand beer.
All right. So your thoughts on Armstead. What do you think happens? What's your gut tell you? 2 nights ago, somebody told me that he was going to give it a go. So I said, wow, that's crazy. And then I'm hearing it now that he's going to give it a go. So what do you think about that? Is it real or is it Memorex?
My gut, my shoulders, my elbows, my head, my nose, my chin, pretty much every part of my body tells me not happening. And it could be one of those where, yeah, he wants to give it a go, which is fabulous. You love
right.
Somebody being a gamer and all that, where I think the Dolphin medical staff are going to talk to the coaches and tell them, yeah, he could possibly play. He's not going to be as effective as he normally would be. And there's also a chance that maybe he could aggravate it. And the coaches are going to tell him, Teron, we love you being a gamer. Sit this one out. That's where I would expect things to go with this particular situation, as my daughter makes a cameo appearance here.
No.
Hello. All right, tell her we say hi. We're glad she did a cameo. The whole family should be doing cameos.
Yes, I was waving, and she's making another cameo here.
There you go. Yeah, exactly. The best part is it's not your wife, because then she'd be like with a broom or something, just wanting to hit you or something, right? Although that would be entertaining.
Well, hello, sir.
Hello. I love when they say hello, sir.
If anyone's seeing this, hi, make me famous.
Okay.
Yeah, there you go. Make her famous.
There you go.
There you go.
We'll be waiting for the contracts. She wants to be a star, so anybody wants to to produce a contract, Bellamy. Send him attention, Sarah.
Okay, there you go. Sarah's the star of the show. It certainly ain't Alan. That's for damn sure. All right, Alan. So, how do you handle this absence? How would you handle it?
No, we discussed this the other day. I mean, chipping, max protect, a lot of screen passes, anything to slow him down. And it was interesting because Darrell Bevel spoke to the media today, and he was asked how you can mitigate the 49er pass rush. And he was basically talking about like the quick timing of the passing that the Dolphins have shown in recent weeks. If the ball is out of Tua's hands very quickly, then the pass protection doesn't have to be as good. And we know it's not going to be as good if Armstead winds up not playing. So it's going to have to come out fast. Fortunately, the Dolphins have wide receivers who can create separation very quickly with Hill and Waddle, which gives you hope that they'll be able to accomplish some things in the passing game, even if Armstead doesn't play. What you might not be able to do is those longer developing throws deep down the middle of the field.
Marcel thinks Kendall Lamb will be the one that's activated from the practice squad. They've got 4 linemen. You put that in an article a couple days ago. They've got 25% of their practice squad is linemen. So obviously they've been working on trying to develop some depth there. He thinks it'll be Kendall Lamb, who was just signed. Is that correct? Because I'm wondering, is he in shape? Everything kosher with him to sign him and then play him within the same week, or do you think it'll be Keon or somebody else in that group?
Well, they can't elevate Keon because they've already done it 3 times, even though he has yet to appear in the building. So for him to play, they would have to sign him to the 53, which I honestly don't see personally.
Right.
And Kendall Lamb's a guy. I'm going to assume they signed him with him in shape, with the idea that they could need him pretty quickly, and he's a pure tackle, whereas the other 2 guys, James Empey and Lamont Gaillard, are more interior offensive linemen. And where you're hurting right now is a tackle. So absolutely makes sense that if elevate somebody, it will be Kendall Lamb.
Okay. All right. I forgot about the Keon nugget there, that he'd already gotten 3 elevations. Is the weakness of the San Francisco defense the secondary? Is that what you have to pick on?
Yeah, not a whole lot of secondary, not a whole lot of weakness on that defense. And I was looking at those stats today. Other than the KC game where they got completely torched, both halves, especially in the second half, they've given up more than 300 yards, which is not a lot, 3 times all year. And the other 2 times that they did it, other than the KC game, was like 321 and 327 or something.
How many good quarterbacks have they faced that can do those things?
Well, they faced Matthew Stafford twice. They faced Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson used to be a good quarterback. Sorry.
And Stafford's not very good either, bro. Not this year. It's not
as good as it was last year. But again, here's the problem: if we're going to play that game of who have they faced.
I'm just asking.
I understand that, but I don't want to start poo-pooing that, because then we have to look. Okay, well, what defenses have the Dolphins torched?
Well, no, but the defense for the Dolphins is not looked at that way. They're the bend, but
no. I'm talking about the Dolphin offense. Which really good defense have they smoked? That's why I don't want to play that game.
But it's not a matter of smoke. It's just a matter of beat. We don't need to see smoke. You just need to beat, like you beat the Ravens, like you beat the Bills. You've beaten some good defenses. So, I mean, did
they beat the Bills defense, really? They scored 21 points. They didn't really beat the Bills defense.
I mean, they won. They won the game.
They won that game because they bent and they didn't break on defense and they make key plays. No, but Big O, are you going to tell me?
That's what they've been.
I understand that. But what I'm telling you is it's not like that defense, the Dolphin offense dominated a good defense there, which is why my entire point for this whole thing was I look at that 49ers defense and I'm not really focusing on who they played. I'm looking at that defense. I mean, they got studs everywhere. Nick Bosa's a complete stud. Fred Warner's a hell of a linebacker. That safety they have, whose name escapes me right now, is a monster. That dude can play. Ward,
But what about their corners? Can you
Ward,
attack
who they
the
signed
corner?
from Kansas City, is a good player. He's a very good player. They signed him as a free agent. So if you're going to look for a weakness on that defense, sure, maybe their cornerbacks aren't great. I know they lost one of them. Was it Mosley, who's a good player, who they lost for the year. But that's a good defense, top to bottom. If there's a place to attack, yeah, it's the secondary or the cornerbacks, I would say. But you got to give your quarterback time to do that.
Right. Well, I mean, the good thing about this team is that you have two receivers, and they proved it last year when you only had one of them. Everybody knew Waddle was getting the ball, even with a terrible offensive line, and they were able to get the ball. Now there were short passes and all that because you weren't working much of the of downfield because you didn't have a lot of time. But I think with those two guys out on the field, Alan, that's a really good way of like combating what you're trying to do out there. And those are guys that can find quickly the open space, and you have a quarterback that can read quickly. So I think it's kind of a good combination to attack that secondary.
No, it gives you hope that they'll be able to have some degree of success against the 49ers, but it's not going to be 350 yards and 3 touchdown passes for 2, I wouldn't think. And if it is, then holy shit, now we're talking serious possibilities. And if we mention the cornerbacks for the 49ers, it's not like they're going to be playing a whole lot of man-to-man, I would expect. It's going to be zone, so those guys are going to get some help. So, no, it's certainly not a case where, my God, the San Francisco defense is awesome, the Dolphins are toast. No, I'm not saying that.
No, I know.
What I'm saying is it's going to be a challenge.
Oh.
What? Hello?
Oh, there we go. There we go. It's going to be a challenge, and then continue.
I stopped that. It's going to be a challenge. I mean,
okay.
So
no, I thought you cut out for a moment there because I'm looking at the video, but it is delayed a little bit. By the way, it's Hufanga, the guy you're talking about. But I'm looking at Lenore Demador and Shavarius Ward.
Ward's a good player. I like Ward.
And Jimmy Ward has been around for a while, and so he's the cat that was with Baltimore for many years, if I remember correctly. Jimmy Ward. So I think that's to me the way you attack these guys in that passing game, because I don't think that Wilson may be inspired to play his former team and all that good stuff, and those are always great storylines, but I just don't think that offensive line, with if Armstead doesn't play, you're not going to be pushing those guys around and create running lanes. So I think you're going to have to find a way to get that passing game going. And with those two cats, will you move Tua a lot? Will you do some boots and waggles to kind of change the launch point? Do you think McDaniel will do that?
Not a ton, but you do it every once in a while, again, to keep him honest, because if you do it too much and you leave him exposed out in the open if somebody doesn't bite. And one more thing, even if Armstead does play, I'm sorry, I wouldn't count on the running game too much, because I heard questions today about like the Dolphin running game like falling off in the second half last week after Armstead, and the numbers are actually completely the opposite. They actually ran better in the second half. In the first half, they did nothing against a really bad Houston run defense, which obviously was geared to stopping the run. And Frisco is a really good run defense. So but
that was a screwed up game, Doggy, because that was a screwed up game because that was the game to start from the beginning running the ball, and then he went completely opposite and went pass happy. And you can't complain because you're up 30-0. So obviously he had the right plan. The problem was after all the injuries hit, my God, that tore everything apart. And then since you weren't establishing the run and really playing, punch him in the mouth football, it was hard to get that going. And even though, like you said, they had some success, but it couldn't be an anchor for them the entire second half, which would have helped out in that second half to kind of burn out the clock and keep that offense off the field.
No, but if you remember, I told you last week, watch McDaniel come out and chuck it down the field because Houston's going to be geared up to stop the running game.
Right. You did.
No, but the few times that they did run, I think, the yards per carry average in the first half was like 1.8 or something. It was horrible. So they didn't try to run it very much. When they did, it wasn't successful. And pretty much consistently, the Dolphins' ticket to winning on offense is throwing the ball. It's not running the ball. Let's not kid ourselves.
No, of course not. And that's what this team has become. It's an offensive team. you've been covering a team for a quarter century that was always waiting for the defense to bail them out. That's not the case anymore. The defense has to make some plays, but it's the offense that's going to need to bail this team out if they're ever going to win anything big.
It's
right now.
it's the passing game. It's the passing game that's going to do it.
Yep.
Probably 99% of the time.
Amen.
Even the Cleveland game was a bit of an aberration to me when they ran for almost 200 yards.
Yeah, you played against a really bad team, and your boys got in a groove, and that's it. And I think it gets demoralizing for the Browns too. I think, you've been around the teams that when they lose a lot, it's hard to keep that same energy for 4 quarters for some of these franchises at this point in time, man. It's gonna be tough. All right. Health-wise, what do we know about the Niners?
McCaffrey didn't practice yesterday, had a knee irritation. It's actually funny because I have that on my screen. I'm like, here, let me put my old man glasses on. Yeah, they have issues at running back because Elijah Mitchell's up 6 to 8 weeks. It's funny too because now they're down at practice yesterday. They were without their top 2 running backs, and we have Raheem Mostert and Jeff Wilson here. Oh, and Savon Ahmed, who also was with the 49ers once upon a time in training camp. There's word that apparently Eric Armstead returned to practice, didn't play last week, who's another tremendous player on the defensive line. Outside of that, they had one of their offensive linemen, Spencer Burford. Can't say I'm very familiar with him. And then a D lineman, Charles Omena, who didn't practice either yesterday. I haven't gotten their report for today since they're on the West Coast.
What'd you think of the whole Mostert thing?
Talking about the thing with Debo?
Yeah, it's so silly, bro.
It's silly, and it's like, and these guys sometimes aren't aware that, like, I'm talking to a guy writing about a Dolphin story, so I'm gonna pump him up, and then you make a comment that could be seen from the other side as a shot at your former team, and of course, Debo jumps on it and makes a thing about it.
And he clearly said, "Dude, I'm talking about my guy. I'm talking about Tua. That we got a guy that can sling it." That's all he said. That wasn't meaning anything except they like their guy. They believe in their guy. There's nothing wrong with that. I mean, everybody, when you've got a quarterback on every team, you always feel, unless you're a Purcell on the Denver Broncos, but most everybody else, when they have a quarterback, they're pretty, excited about that. What'd you think?
But he also said we have more talent than we had before. I think there was another quote. And again, if you're Debo Samuel, we're like, what the hell? It's more fun. I asked Mostert about it yesterday, and he was like, he texted Debo, and they got a laugh about it.
Yeah, I mean, imagine it's just silly stuff. But fans, boy, they eat this kind of stuff up.
I mean, it's not like Patrick Peterson taking a shot at Kyler Murray the way he did, even though he's probably not wrong.
Well, I got to tell you something. That Patrick Peterson stuff, and Kyler Murray's like, oh, well, why you got to take a shot to improve your podcast, this, that. And it's like, dude, you're the guy with a homework clause on your contract. Mm-hmm. You're the guy. We all saw you ripping your coach a new one walking off the field in the middle of a game. Like, we have watched your behavior overall. And so, it's one of those things like, maybe what you should do is just worry about your shit so people don't talk about you and do your job, because Kyler's kind of gotten a pass in a way, because I watch other quarterbacks around the league and they get way more heat for the things that they don't do, or they thought they didn't do, or they weren't going to do, or whatever. And this kid's gotten kind of a pass over the last couple of years. And you think about it, you already got a big ass contract that you really haven't earned. Yeah.
And why the hell the Cardinals signed him to that contract in the offseason beyond when they didn't need to, they didn't need to. And if you notice also, Kyler didn't say anything about to Peterson contradicting what Peterson was saying. It was just, why didn't you tell me first?
Right.
Like, dude, you're right, but why are you making me look bad? Okay, well
yeah, exactly. Well, dude, stop. Maybe change your ways, bro. And people will actually look at you differently. It's a problem. What'd you think of that Purcell moment, bro, with Russell? That is bad, brother. He just had a party Tuesday night, the night off. Half the team only showed up to that party.
It's better than Bo Callahan, where nobody showed up. Come on, you got that one right.
Yes, he's laughing. Sean is clapping and everything.
No, that whole thing. I mean, what a disaster! Because they're like, he's playing like shit. They're completely locked into him. Throw away the key for like at least 3 years.
Yep.
And they also gave up a ton of draft capital. I mean, holy shit, talk about a disaster. And you got a quarterback whose teammates clearly don't like him. So
Yeah.
good luck building a team around him.
Yeah, you can be whatever you want in a locker room, pretty much. But brother, if you don't produce, that's going to be the ultimate sin in that locker. And when you're getting all that money, oh my God, there's going to be a lot of people that are pissed. And I don't know how he gets out of this, man, because he just doesn't look. He looks like a shell. Obviously, this guy's going the route of Cam Cameron,
Probably.
guaranteed, right?
Probably.
What's his name? And he'll go back to Green Bay, I would imagine. Hackett. Yeah, that guy's going the Cam Cameron route. All right.
But then look at this one. Ask yourself, if you're the Green Bay Packers, how much you regret not having traded Aaron Rodgers to the Broncos instead of giving him $50 million for each of the next 2 years.
Exactly. Yeah, you're right.
Those are franchise-altering decisions, you know.
Yeah. No, we've covered it down here many times with bad contracts that alter this team all the time. So yeah, no, I've seen it firsthand. It's crazy stuff. All right, what do you got? What's your prediction for the game on Sunday? I know you do it on Fridays.
Saturday morning. Saturday morning.
I'm sorry. Saturday morning.
Let's put you this way. That's a tough one. But here's the thing. Okay, of that 3-game road trip, if they're going to lose one of them, let's lose this one, obviously, because then the other one's an AFC East game, which is clearly the biggest one, again against Buffalo. The Chargers an AFC game. If you're going to lose one of those games, you want to lose this one. Obviously, you'd prefer going 3-0, but
2-1 would be awesome. I'll be really happy, dude. Yep. Yes. 2-1 would be phenomenal in this stretch. That would prove that this is one of the better teams in the NFL. You go 2-1, even with all the injuries that they have suffered, overall on this team. It's impressive what they've done. By the way, I told Marcel this, and I'll tell you this. It's never been done in the NFL. The Dolphins have a shot at having 2 1,500-yard receivers.
Yep.
That'd be pretty cool.
No, it would be pretty cool, and it's a completely crazy season. The whole what they're doing with the passing game is
right.
I mean, big time.
And as you just said it, right? If what's going to save their asses is the passing game, well, then here are the two guys, and I think these are the two guys you need to use this. Although I'm sure River Craycraft is going for some revenge.
And Trent Sherfield. Don't forget about Trent Sherfield.
Is he back? Are both healthy?
Yeah.
Are both playing? Yeah. Okay. All right. So then look at that. Two guys going for revenge.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Will either guy cross the 75-yard mark?
I don't think. I think Sherfield might have come close once, if I remember correctly. I'd have to look it up, but no, I wouldn't count on it. Be nice to see Hill with a $120 would work.
Yes, I think you're going to see both of them over 100 yards. I think they're going to drive that secondary crazy.
Okay.
I think they're going to plan on it. I think that's what they're going to try to do. So we'll see. We'll see. Follow them on Twitter at Poupart NFL. And as I tell you all out there, it is impossible. You are not a Dolphins fan until you bookmark alldolphins.com. So make sure you do that, because this nutbag writes about 8 articles a day. I don't know how he sleeps. I don't think he does sleep, actually. I think him and Manny Navarro have figured out a way to write articles while they're sleeping. I mean, it's the only way they produce that many articles a day. So you stop drinking all that caffeine and get some sleep.
Sounds good to me. And next time I'll make sure I have the Expos hat. I apologize for this major faux pas.
Yes. On a day where the day after I got tickets to Montreal.
I know. That's even worse.
Look at that. That's just wrong on all levels.
Mm-hmm.
Much love, brother. We'll talk to you later.
Have a great weekend.
You got it. You too. There you go. Alain Poupart, baby, getting it done. EJD Construction gets it done all the time. EJD Construction is some good people, man. I got to tell you, we're putting together a little fund for the police department softball team, and EJD Construction was there, man, donating and helping, and just absolutely amazing. Edge Energy drink too, John. Just some great people willing to help out the community. EJD Construction has been at this for a long time, folks. So if you're looking for custom home construction and major home remodeling, we're not talking about a handyman. Don't call Eric for that. But I'm going to give you the man's cell number. So you have the owner's cell number, 305-433-4843. Whatever it is you need to do, you need to modernize that kitchen. Maybe you had a fire in your office, your home, and you need to remediate everything, clear it out. They do that. There's a lot of our listeners that are calling about fixing and updating their roofs because insurance policies are up. And a lot of these insurance companies, if your house is too old and it gets over 20 years old and the roof becomes outdated, and then they will not renew you. So if you are one of those South Florida residents in Dade or Broward County struggling with that, call EJD Construction, 305-433-4843. Exceptional people. Eric has got a great staff, fully insured, by the way, liability and workers' comp. Just like Cutter's Edge Pro, when I tell you, do not hire anybody that isn't fully insured because they get injured on your property, they can sue you. Make sure, if you don't want to hire EJD Construction, that's fine. You don't want to hire Cutter's Edge Pro, that's fine. But if you do hire someone else, please make sure they show you proof they are fully insured to protect you. And EJD Construction does that. 305-433-4843. That is your EJDconstruction.com. Miami Dolphins report.
This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show.